Okay, so I hope you enjoyed your break. And we shall crack on with the next two bars. So we're going to start here, and this is going to be fairly standard now, this rhythm counting, but there's always something to work on. So you can do the foot tap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to count out straight beats to begin with, so that's where you would tap your foot, and then we're going to try and call that as we're going to try and tap the foot as we say what we see. Okay, so starting after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then. Okay, that's good. So we're going to play this now on, looks mostly on the A string to me, so let's play this on the A string. This is your chance to think about releasing now pressure from that wrist, holding the bow up with the violin, thinking about the nice smooth bow turns, pushing the up bow and applying pressure as you do so to eliminate those wispy tones. So starting after 4, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then. 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 Okay, cool. Hopefully you are happy with that. So we're now going to do the rhythm strings. So I'm going to write the strings that would be over the top. Feel free to shout them out if you like. I mean, I won't be able to hear you, but it's probably good to know that you're right. Okay, so there we go. So that's the strings we'll be playing. Gonna slow it down by 5 beats, of course, just to give us a little bit more time to think about it. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then. 3, then 4, then. 3, then 4, then. 3, then 4, then. And this little bit at the end, it's more like a flick. So trying to get over onto that E, you've got to kind of flick that wrist. Okay, so I'm going to assume that that's okay. And so we're going to now add in the fingering, which I shall do below. So we're looking at 1, 3, this is a 3, and then open, 2, this is the first and second close together, open, open, well, open 1 actually. Okay, bowing is exactly the same, like with this, the hornpipe, we try to keep that standard, long down, push the up. So let's try this now at this speed, starting on the first finger after 4, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then. 3, then 4, then. 3, 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then okay, excellent. And you can think about this walking movement that goes on from here. So we're walking the fingers over. And if you want, you can also do a bridging movement. So you can hold that third finger down while you place that first finger. Okay, so we're going to speed up the metronome here. So we're going to play it a little bit quicker now. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 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 then 'kay, cool. Going to speed it up to 45, and now you can think about trying to add all of those elements, like trying to make sure that you've got good tone quality, timing, intonation, and that little flick of the wrist on the last two notes. So after 4, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 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 then 'kay, happy with that. So let's move on to our target speed. 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 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 then okay, so assuming that that is alright, we're now going to try and reintroduce what we've got. So at 45, I'm going to start from the beginning. If you like, you can just quickly go over that on your own. If you feel confident, then you can go over it with me. Just give you a couple of seconds. Alright, let's try it together then. So I'm going to give you a counting of 4, and then we'll get cracking. 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then 5, 4, and okay, and let's move this up to our target speed. 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then okay, cool. So we're going to move on to our last bar of this line, and then we'll string it all together. Okay, so the last bar, we've got this, ugh, look at that, it's horrendous. We've got this dotted minim, so we've got 3 beats here. So if you're a little bit unsure sometimes about this, you can always work from the back. You know there's 4 beats, so we've got 4 then, and we know that this is going to start at 1. Okay, so the way we do it is we count it with 1, and then we come in on 4 then. So if that's a little bit unfamiliar, then you can check out the counting with the metronome stuff that we've done. So this is how it's going to work. I count to 4, and then we'll try this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 4, then 1, 4, then 1, 4, then 1, 4, then. And the trick is to just silently count it, to count out the numbers, and that should make things easier. Okay, so gonna slow it down to 45. This is actually gonna make it slightly harder. So I'll give you a counting of 4. That means we're gonna have to play a nice long slow bow here. And what we're gonna have to do in order to make this work is we're going to add a what's called like a broken slur. So we're going to stop the bow in the middle. So this is a bit harder than just a normal broken slur, because you're stopping at 2/3. So where we would maybe stop here, we want to have 4, then 4, then 4, then 4. So I'm just practicing this broken slur. That's something that you could try doing with me just now. We're just going to do down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So quite a difficult technique. It's definitely one worth practicing on its own. So we're going to do this on the E string, seeing as it's mostly on the E string. So let's just try this after 4. So 1, 4, then. it's difficult to try and get that consistent tone on the minim. So what we want to avoid is snaking. We want to avoid the bow moving across different sound points as we go along. So that's by keeping that wrist moving in the correct way as we come on the down bow. So making sure you extend that wrist and don't kind of pull back with your elbow. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay at this speed. We're now going to just add the fingering in. So I'm just going to add that below here. So it's all on the E string again, and then 0, 1. Okay, so you're just going to have to come down heavy with that one. We'll do it back to back again as we did there, because it's a little bit easier once you get into the flow. So starting on a down bow, after 4, 1, 4, then. And that's obviously much easier if with your up bow you try and push and get to the heel as quickly as possible. I'm going to speed this up now to 50, the target speed. It's going to be a little bit easier at this speed because we're not having to play the dotted minim for as long. So after 4, so 1, 4, then. Okay, cool. So, assuming that's alright, because if you could play it slower, then you can certainly play it faster, I'm sure. We're going to now add in what we've got. Okay, so all of these bars, but we're going to slow it down just to give ourselves a little bit more time to think about it. The whole line, I should say. Okay, so let's slow that down to 45. Okay, so after the count of 4, 1, 2, 3, then 4, then. Okay, I messed that up, but I'm sure you played it perfect. After 4, 3, then 4, then. One, 2, 3, then 4, then. Okay, last time at this speed, 3, then 4, then. Okay, great. So let's move on to 50. So 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then last one, 4, then quite difficult to play that without wanting to finish the tune, but there we go. It is a really good good technique. So that's the second line. Introduce the first line now to the second line, and then we can move on to the third.